Welcome to the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent.
Steve, good afternoon. Welcome back to Friday at 4, episode 49. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. And
Awesome.
yourself?
Hanging in there. It's been a strange week, but
Okay.
it's Friday. Got through.
Wasn't there a song? I forget who sang it. And one of the lines in the song is, "What a long, strange week it's been, a long, strange trip it's been." I forget the song, but it kind of reminded me of what you said. It's been long, strange one. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, I digress.
Yeah. Yeah. Busy week. A lot going on. Um, Progression, things are moving, and I am excited about episode 9 of Chasing the Stars. I'm working on it
Oh,
now.
cool.
Yeah, last episode, I'm getting some pretty good feedback. People like it. They like the format. They like how it went. So I'm gonna try to stick to it, and I
Yeah.
gotta one up this one now.
It's an evolving process. So each one becomes better than the one before. So keep going.
Yeah, yeah, I'm loving it. It's going good.
Good.
So this week I got a little something I want to cover.
Sure.
Um, so the other day, and this ties into obviously what I'm working on
Mm.
this month for Chasing Stars episode 9. So the other day I was viewing this website, right? When I saw the amount of tickets left for the show that I'm going to visit.
Mm.
And in an instant, man, my brain went like, oh, I have to buy a ticket, right? I felt like, man, if I didn't click purchase right now, what am I missing out on this experience, right? It's like, oh my God, an experience of a lifetime, right? But that little jolt of urgency, right? That's FOMO, fear of missing out,
Got it.
and working exactly the way it's designed to, right? It can take your wallet, man, and just if you're not careful, man, it could drain you, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So fear of missing out, FOMO, right? The most powerful force driving spending decisions. It's not new either. Right? We know that it's been around forever, right?
Hmm.
Just I guess we didn't know how to identify it. But long before social media, people felt the need to keep up with the neighbors, their friends,
Hmm.
coworkers. But today, that need's been amplified by constant access to other people's social media, photos of vacations, luxury
Yeah.
purchases, limited time events, exclusive deals flashing across their screens all the time, right?
Mhm.
Psychologically, FOMO really taps into a survival instinct. I didn't know this, right? It tapped into our survival instinct.
Hmm.
Our brains are wired to see scarcity as a threat, right? Who knew? So when we believe something's available only for like a short time, or that everybody else is getting it, or we feel like an urgent need to act, right? I mean, we feel like, oh, I got to do this. Retailers and marketers, right? They know this, man. They've been doing this for a while, right? Only 3 left in stock, or sale ends at
Hmm.
midnight,
Right.
right?
Right.
That's why it's so effective. Yeah. The danger of that decision made in FOMO moments are rarely rational. Right? I didn't realize this either. But they bypass that long-term financial goals in favor of instant gratification. You talk
Hmm.
about that a lot. But
Hmm.
obviously, one way to combat that, pause and ask yourself, right? If I saw this next week or without the countdown timer, would I really still want it? Another strategy is reframing, right? Instead of saying to yourself, you're going to miss out if I don't buy it right now, think about what you'll gain by keeping your money, right? Security, flexibility, I can pay something off, chance to spend on something more meaningful, right? The truth is, though, opportunities come around more often than we think, and that's something that I'm glad that I really think about as I'm going through my spending habits. Recognizing FOMO, for what it is, the psychological nudge, not a genuine emergency. Take back control over your wallet so you get your peace of mind, right?
Yeah.
Thoughts. That's powerful, right? I mean, there's so much to that. And when I researched that, I had no idea, man, that it went that far into the psychological aspect of it, right?
When money is involved, companies, marketers, whatever you want to call them, they get real creative. because
Yeah.
there's so many people that, and again, I'm talking high level because this is not my area of expertise, but just what I know generally, there
Mhm.
are so many people and companies that want your money, but knowing that you have a limited amount of money, they get more and more creative, and FOMO is one of those ways to get the money from you for company A or company B or company C because they all want it.
Yeah.
So if you went in, simple example, you go into a supermarket, and I always hear that there's a price to pay to stock your merchandise on a shelf. And the
Level.
shelf exactly is eye level because a lot of people won't reach up, a lot of people won't bend down.
Yeah.
So they're going to charge more for the product eye level because you're just going to reach in and pull. Same thing,
Quick, right? In a hurry,
quick.
right? You want instant
It's
gratification. Boom,
quick.
grab and pull and
Yep.
go.
Yep. So it's
Yeah.
just like you said, I went online and I saw there were only a few tickets left and I don't want to miss out.
Yeah. You
But
know what
even,
grabbed my attention though? Because this is a big event, right? That I don't want to say too much about it until a
yeah,
couple of weeks go
don't.
down,
Yeah.
right? Because this
Yeah.
is really exciting for me because I've never experienced this before. I'm really excited
Mm.
to do this, right? But what grabbed me, what made me go, oh man, there were like 3,000 tickets left. The other day was like 600 tickets left. And then the last weekend it said sold out. And I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get my ticket now. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute, hold up.
Right.
There's no rush. I can even get them at the door if I have to, you know? Interesting, right? I mean, same philosophy, right? You see it, oh, I gotta click, I gotta get it.
They're instilling in you that sense of urgency. But what we don't know, but let's assume that it's honest, that the number of tickets are being reduced. The number of available tickets are being reduced.
So you're saying it could
Assume
be
that it's
false.
honest. But how do
Oh,
you really know? And again, I would have to assume that they are honest. But how do you know that when they say there's 300 tickets left, there really are 300 tickets left, not 1,000 tickets left?
just 10 tickets left. Hurry up, get them now.
But you don't know.
I never
And
thought
if
of that.
and if somebody, let's say there's 10 tickets left and you buy, does it really go down to nine?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it might when it gets down to that small, but when you have 5,000, is it really going to ratchet down one at a time, or is it going to stay at 5,000 for a day or two?
Is there an algorithm that says let it drop at 100 tickets or
Right,
200 tickets or
right,
50?
right.
Ah,
And we
good
don't
point.
know that.
Yeah, good point.
We don't know that.
Yeah. But my whole point to that whole, this whole thing we're talking about, the fear of missing out is real. It was there.
Hmm. Yeah.
I was like, I got off my phone, right to my laptop and logged in and all right, let me look at this website. And I'm like, let me relax. I don't need to buy this right now. I'm one person getting one ticket. I'm sure between, 3 days with 12,000 tickets, I'm going to get one
Right,
eventually.
right. I would certainly think so.
Relax a little bit,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Just take it back, relax, take a breath.
Yeah, right. But it was amazing to experience. That's why I want to talk about that because it was amazing to really experience that, you know, not recognizing it for the years past
Mm,
of,
mm.
buying things and doing things by the fear of missing out. This was a perfect example that I really hit me hard to say, wow, I was just in the moment of fear of missing out that I had to buy this right now.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it, again, my opinion, part of it might be years ago, social media wasn't, first of all, it wasn't around for a while. Then it's got it, growing because it's infancy
Mm,
stage and then it grows. Then
yeah.
because of the social media, you're now more aware because it hits you quicker.
Mm,
Years ago, before social media, you had to go to a store.
yeah.
Now you can get it online and like this, you know what's going on. So they
Yeah.
didn't have that same, unless you went into the store and then they only had five left on the shelf.
Yeah.
But now there's more people looking at that one event, with the 3,000 left. So there's more people getting the 3,000, so the number could drop faster.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
it's all the mindset. Yeah, it's the human mind we know can be manipulated any way it needs to be. So
Yeah, absolutely. 1000%. That's why I want
yeah.
to talk about that because it just that within 5 seconds of seeing it, put the phone down, open the laptop up, open up and get right to the website
Hmm.
that fast
Right.
that I had to really say, whoa, hold on here. Wait a second. You got 3 weeks. You got a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's 31 days.
But the mind kicks in
Yeah.
and it says, I want it now.
I want it now, like a big kid in a candy store.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, I am hungry for a piece of candy. So thanks for telling me that. So,
There you go. So what you got today?
so I was looking around at a couple of different potential topics, and one came across about people not planning correctly for retirement. And there's a whole bunch of reasons for that. And let's start out with what you talked about. You go along, you're doing your thing every day, and you happen to have some extra money, and there's that restaurant you want to go to. There's that cell phone, the iPhone that you want. There's that meeting you want to go to, that session that, like you said, you want to go to. There's all these different things that immediately the brain kicks in and says, I want it. So it takes the money out of your wallet, out of your checking account, your charge card, whatever the money comes from. It takes it. And now you have less money to do with what you maybe should be doing. My version of should be doing.
Steve's version,
My
right?
version, which may be slightly different or widely different than your version. Okay. Um, but what happens on a more generic statement is people work on average 40 years, 40 hours a week. If it's 40, it's usually more. And they retire at some point, whether they want to retire or somebody tells them to retire. They now look at what they think they had to live on and they don't. So
Yeah,
the plan may have been there, but behind the scenes, that money didn't go as well as it should have. Either they didn't put enough in, the market went down, whatever the reasons are. Now you sit there and say, hey, I'm 60, 65, 70. I want to retire, and I don't have it. And when you get to that point, the options are limited as to what you can do to make sure you have enough money to last as long as you need it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's that whole mindset. So well, part of it's the mindset, but part of it's the actual execution. And one of the things that really comes into play here is that people, and I've said this numbers of times, people are purposely not taught how money works. And if you're not taught how it works, how do you know that what you're currently doing, whatever that is enough to get you through today and tomorrow? What about next month, next year, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years down the road? You
yeah,
don't know that. So
yeah,
if you don't know, you can't ask the right questions. You can't put a plan in place. You can't monitor it because you don't know what maybe should be, or at least the option to do.
right.
Whether you should do or not, obviously, is a personal choice, but you don't even know the options available to do something. And
Yeah,
that's where a lot of people end up coming up short on their retirement plans.
yeah.
So I'm sure that,
Oh no, I was just gonna just real quick, I was gonna say,
okay,
um, tying what you're saying and what you're focusing on to the fear of missing out piece, it would work the opposite for you because I think it will be a very positive thing for you to market the fear of missing out because the fear of missing out on a good retirement
Right.
could really hurt, in 20,
Mm,
30, 40 years for younger
correct.
individuals or people like me, middle age, to should be pressed right now to start some kind of retirement to get something set up.
Hmm.
So the fear of missing that retirement should really be in my mind, right? It should be something that Steve should like, Chuck,
Yes.
you got to do
So,
this. Right? You see where
right.
I'm going with
Yep.
that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So there are two schools of thought. Again, my version. There are two schools of thought. I'm not speaking for the world. This is me. Uh,
Right.
there are two schools of thought. I could sit down with Chuck and I could say, Chuck, you realize you're going to be in trouble when you get older. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this now. And I put that fear of missing out in Chuck's mind, and I'm going to drive him crazy. And he's just going to go nuts, and every penny he's got has to go in. That's what most people will do to Chuck. My way of working is to sit down with Chuck and say, let me educate you on options that you have, on things that could be done down the road. I leave all the decisions to Chuck. There is no fear of missing out. It's his decision what he wants to do. And he can go from nothing that he's doing now to full blown, all out crazy mode of putting every penny he's got, or somewhere in the middle. And a lot of what we bring up to people is not just the options to save and where to save, but what you could have down the road. A person who may be single may have different objectives than a person who's single with married, or single married with a child, or single married child grandchild. So every person is different. Their needs, their goals, their time frames are different. And that's what I present to people is what do you want to do? And if we do it right and you start early enough, you absolutely can manage putting a little bit away at a time and still living the life you want to today. So you
Mhm.
can have both. But
Yeah.
unless you know the options and what your goals and timeframes are, you're just going to go on your merry way and, oh, I'll buy the iPhone. I'll go to the meeting. I'll buy the new car without
Yeah.
thinking about tomorrow.
Yep.
And I'm a firm believer because I watched my parents. I'm a firm believer that there's three ways to really use your money as you grow older. One is to say, I'm going to use everything today. I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to use everything today. Screw it. It's not what I was going to say, but I'm cleaning it up. Okay. Use everything today. Screw the
Version.
future. The other end says, screw today. I'm putting everything away for tomorrow. But then you're not living.
Living. Yeah.
The middle option is where I am, the middle of the ground. Live for today and put a little bit away every day, every week, every month, whatever the time frame is, every paycheck, whatever it is, towards the
Yeah.
future. But
Yeah.
the earlier you start on a consistent basis, you'll have money down the road. How much you have depends on a bunch of variables, but you will have
Sure.
money down the road.
Yeah.
That's why that middle of the road is great. So you can live it today, still have tomorrow, and be normal.
Yeah. I like your spin on it, right? Because, like you said, there's two ways you can go with the fear of missing out, right? You can either have the person fear that they're really going to fail if they don't do something.
Mm-hmm.
And you have your side that the fear of, well, hey, let's make this work for you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I like it.
If you had okay, so I've used this example before. If you wanted to save, and I'm going to make this easy, $120 in a year. There's a lot of ways, but we're going to say two ways you can save that $120. You can start in January and every month put $10 away. And at the end of the year, you have your $120. $10 a month times 12 months is your $120. Or you can wait until December and try to come up with $120. And most
December
people can't.
31st.
Right. But it's the same exact concept, the same exact mindset of long-term retirement.
Hmm.
If you put away, and again, I'm just using this as an example, if you put
Right.
$10 a month away every month for years, plus what it grows to, you're going to have a nice chunk of change in the future. So you can still live every day. You, your family, still go out, go vacation, go conventions, go cruise, go car, go whatever you want to do,
Yeah.
but you still have money slowly building.
Mhm.
And if you monitor every 6 months the growth that you've been putting away, and you start to see it really take off. In the beginning, it's slow because it's small, but as that
Yeah.
pot grows, it starts compounding faster. And it starts out slow and then it goes like up. And as you go 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, now the mind's going, oh my God, look what it is. Then you start maybe putting more into it because you see there's a pot of gold out there down the road.
Yeah.
So that's what the direction I take. I don't want somebody to fear missing out because then if I mean, when my wife was alive and I had my kids were young, if somebody did that to me, I would say, okay, so if I put everything away, how do I live? Even if
Right.
I could pay the mortgage or the rent, can't go out to eat, can't go to the movies, can't go on vacation because every penny has to go somewhere else.
It has to
And no,
count,
it
right?
right.
Yeah.
And no, it doesn't. You can still live. Take that big amount that supposedly has to and make it small. Keep
And you know what?
living.
And we've talked about this on a couple of occasions too, about being honest with yourself to sit down and look at what you're spending, put a sheet
Right.
together
Right.
where all your
Right.
money is going.
Yep.
When you look at that, it's scary because you go, wow, I'm spending $800 a month on stupid stuff.
Yeah.
We all do it.
Yes, we all do it, but
Yeah.
it's also extremely difficult to look at yourself because you know this, we can justify anything.
Yep.
But if there's an independent person, and that's where I'll come in and do this for nothing,
Yeah.
let's sit down and have a conversation. And yes, we are going to go into your stuff. So clearly up front, but again, it's confidential and it's free. But we're going to ask some tough questions. What are you spending? And you got to be honest. And then the question is, why are you spending that? Why are you spending, $1,000 a month in Starbucks? Sorry, I'm picking on Starbucks. Why are you spending $1,000
Again.
in Starbucks? I really do like Starbucks, buddy. I'm just using this as an example. Why are you
Yeah.
spending 1,000 on Starbucks? Would you be able to spend $500 instead? I'm not saying stop. Do
Sure.
it in moderation.
Mhm.
So if you do moderation in all the different things you're spending money in, how much money at the end of a month can you have that you were spending that is now really found money? And
Yeah.
use not all of it, use some of it towards the future and the rest use to enjoy yourself.
Right. Yep.
Reward yourself for changing the mindset. Reward yourself, your partner, your kids, your grandkids, your dog, cat, goldfish, who reward somebody.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not all for, and first of all, none of that comes to me. Let me make that clear up front. None of that comes to me. It's you and your future.
Right.
But
Yeah.
reward yourself for doing the right thing.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
win. It's a win all the way
Yeah.
around.
Yep. And to circle back a little bit, because I wanted to touch on this real quick with my thought process. You know, like with my business, with the fear of missing out,
Hmm.
with especially with my show, if I make a visit
Hmm.
and it doesn't go perfect, you know, the fear of missing out is look, if you don't do something about that, you could be missing opportunity in the future with more customers.
Correct.
And again, as I said last week, we're not here to bash your business and bring you down. We're here to lift you up and promote you.
Right.
That way we catch these things that don't go perfect.
Correct.
You do have to fear that because you will be missing out on
Right.
opportunity. So
Yeah.
I want to make sure that I put that in there so the audience and anybody listening to this, really understands where I'm coming from with my fear of missing out. Yes, it has two
Mm.
sides, it's like it's good and it's bad, but you got to make sure that you're really focused on what outcome you're looking to get out of your business, just like you talk to people who are looking to get out of your retirement. They just we just so gel and work together with what we're doing here because every time we pick a topic, we can talk to each other about how our businesses overlap and work together, how the topics we touch
They do.
really go together. They really
They
do.
do. They
You
do.
know,
I
yeah.
mean, you take a look at your business. So you right now you're dealing with food or well, the food industry. Okay.
Yeah, so that's interesting, right? I'm glad you talked about that because the last three episodes have been nothing but food. And it's interesting.
Right.
I need to coming
Yeah.
up though, I will have a couple that are not going to be food, but
Okay.
there's the next few will be
Mhm.
based around food. Yeah, so go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
But but okay, so food or not, you go into a business and you're doing the independent, does this look right? Does it work? Food side, is it good? Is it clean? Is it healthy? Blah, 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 whatever it is.
Yeah,
And then you're saying to the business owner, here's ways to improve. Now, a
yeah,
business owner could say, thank you. I will fix it, come back and report on that it's now fixed. Or they could say, don't talk to me. I don't want to know. I'm happy. I have customers. And those customers, fear of missing out, could go away.
yeah.
But it's not just you and what you do. Big companies, huge companies, make major mistakes.
All the time.
The publicity is huge.
Yeah,
They can't stop the negative reports. But what do? They fix it. They make it public that they fixed it, and they go on their merry way.
yep,
So if that's the case, why can't that same logic be in the companies and the businesses that you go to?
yep,
That same
absolutely.
thought process of if Microsoft can mess up and still come back, if IBM can mess up and still come back, if the credit bureaus can have security breaches and still come back,
Yeah,
bigger, bigger picture, bigger potential of loss, and it's out there. But
yeah.
they
And
fix
we
it, they come back.
and we talked about this too, right? You can go to McDonald's, they
Mhm.
can screw your burger up, which they do almost on a daily basis, but nobody says anything.
Right.
But you go to a small restaurant
Mhm.
and the waiter doesn't fill your glass up all the way to the top with your drink, and you want to get on social media and just bash that poor business to no end. They
Right.
were just no good. They were awful and horrible, and all the things that see bad about them.
Hmm.
That is what we're trying
Yeah.
to fix. That is what,
Correct.
with my
Correct.
almost 30 years experience
Mm.
in this industry, you know, what we're trying to make sure we help small businesses fix is not get caught up in that. You know what I mean? It's crazy, you know? We just want to help, you know?
It's easier, at least I believe, it's easier to go after the small business who may not be able to defend themselves. You go into McDonald's, they mess up. What am I going to do? It's McDonald's. Fine, I'll accept it and you walk away. So, to your point, it's easier to go after the small one. But the problem with the small one is they may not have the sales, they may not have the capacity to
Yeah.
handle something on the scale that a McDonald's can.
Yep.
So give them
Yeah.
a break. Cut
Yeah,
them a
like you
little.
said, right? You know, McDonald's will make 100 billion burgers a day,
Hmm.
but you mess up 100,000 of them, doesn't matter.
Right.
But if your small business makes 1,000 burgers a day and you mess up 100 of them,
you're
It's
in,
totally different.
yeah, you're in trouble. It's true.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
give businesses a little grace. Give them a little,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
compassion. They really are trying. In a lot of
yeah,
cases, small businesses, the ones you visit or not, small businesses have the small budget. They're doing the
yeah.
best they can. So
Yeah.
cut them a break.
And that's why in every episode that you and I have, I really want to stress and talk about that point that I'm not here to put you down and bash your business. If
Right.
I have a not so perfect visit, that's
Hmm.
why chasing the stars turns into chasing perfection. Because now we want to help you get back to that perfection, which we know you have. You do it all the time.
Yeah.
You might serve, 25, 30 customers a day. So one of them had a bad experience in a week. It's okay. But that's why we do what we do. If we catch it, let us help you make it right by interviewing, talking about it. How did you fix it? What do you do to overcome that challenge, right?
Correct.
We're giving you that chance, right? Let's take Dave Portnoy, for example, right? And I hate to call that guy out. I think he's pretty cool what he's doing. But he goes in, eat your pizza, one bite, you get a score, and that's it. He don't care how it is. He takes that bite, he takes a score, and he rolls. And he has millions of followers, and people really believe in him, right? So he can make or break a business.
Yeah.
I'm not here to make or break your business. I'm here to make your business better. You
Hmm.
know, I
Yep.
want to give you the score. I want to tell you what happened, and let's work together to make it better. Let me come back. Let me do this, do that. You know,
And
that's
the
what we do.
idea, see, I love your model because, yes, the first time in, you really do sit down, you talk to them, you do everything you're supposed to do. And yes, you report the truth.
Yeah,
But when you come back the second time, it's a big deal to say business X corrected, took the time, took the energy, took the money to make it better for their customers.
got it.
It's a bigger difference than somebody going in, taking a bite and walking away and bashing a business. There's two completely different mindsets.
Yeah. And that's why I flow because I have the podcast interview. People get to see the true
Mm.
part of that business owner,
Right.
why they started, why they're doing what they do, why they're in business, why they're there. And then when you tie it to what I'm doing when I record and do the show, you get to see all the goodies. You see the food, the business, the people. You get to see how their business is set up, whether it's a restaurant or whether it's a nightclub or whatever it is.
Mm.
You see the flow. And whether my report is fully positive or, you had something wrong in the visit, that's okay. That's what makes you human. And
Hmm.
that's what's good about what I do is because people can
Yep.
see that and say, hey, Chuck's visit wasn't perfect, but look what the owner did to fix it to make it right. Look what they're doing to
Exactly.
change
Exactly.
things. It was just one visit.
Yep.
But one visit can make a big difference. And we know that,
Hmm.
because it only takes one person to tell 10, and then it turns
Correct.
into 1,000, then it turns into 100,000.
Yep.
And before you
Yep.
know it, you're in the negativity. That's why I
Yeah.
compare Google, Yelp, and Facebook reviews to what I do
Hmm.
professionally, 30 years experience. That's why I'm doing this to really
Yeah.
help those small businesses.
Makes sense. And like I said,
Yeah,
I think the service you're providing is great for that. It
yeah,
gives a business an opportunity not only to be put out there, but also to have the independent of how can I get better? Because again, if
I
you're
like
in
it better.
there all
Yeah,
day long, you don't see the bigger picture because you're focused on the day to day.
you got it. Yep. 516-727-2294. Reach out to Steve.
Yeah.
He'll help you out.
Thank you. And talk to Chuck at 410. Sorry, my eyes are bad. 410-935-6132. Yes, I need thicker glasses. But call Chuck. Yes, comes with being wise or something like that. Okay. I was going to say old age, but we'll call it being wise. I'll be nice. Okay.
You got it. Yeah. See, what a great episode, man. I say it
Yeah.
every week. I
Mhm.
love what we do. I love these
Yeah.
conversations. I really think that we're hitting the mark on this. This is a great podcast, a great
Yeah.
series we're doing. We love to help people. And again, like you always say, it's just two guys having a conversation.
That's it.
And it's our faults. It's our businesses put together. It's our business
Yep.
models. And I love how you and I really they go together, man. It's like DNA. It's like it was meant to be that the way our communication's going, and we have something good.
Yeah. It the model is working.
Yeah.
We get along. We bring some value. Again, it is independent views from our own experiences. So we're not tied to
Yeah.
anybody. We're not giving their opinions. It's ours.
Yep.
And
And I want people to know that all this conversation came off of your podcast interview on my podcast. That's
oh,
how it
okay.
started.
Well, you're
That's
welcome.
how
I
it
don't know
started.
what I did, but thank you. You're welcome.
That's how
Okay.
it started. You interviewed on my podcast, and here we are, 49 episodes later. You
Wow.
know, yeah. So I mean, it's just good. So yeah, Steve, thanks again for coming on.
No,
Appreciate it as
you
always.
will.
Friday the Forward podcast series because
It's 4 o'clock somewhere.
it's 4 o'clock somewhere. Love
Love it.
it. Love it, man.
Yep.
Steve, enjoy the rest of the day.
You
Have a
too.
great weekend,
You
and
got
we
it.
will chat soon, buddy.
You got it. Thanks, Chuck. Take care,
See you,
everyone.
man. Take
Bye bye.
care.
You've been watching the Friday at 4 podcast series with your host Charles Luttrell and co-host Steve Kent. Thanks for watching.